Do you guys remember this age-old question? If you could go back in time, what would you change? These are 10 things I wish I knew sooner as a first-time dad. Number one is this. Your presence is more valuable than you think. Dads, I'm so serious on this. If you just take the time to be with your spouse, to be with your wife, do little things with her. Go to the grocery store. Just spend time on the couch. Hang out a little bit. Watch a movie. Hug. Do those small things because your presence matters way more than you think it does. Number two is this. You are the emotional leader. What this means is your wife's hormones are going to be going left, right, up, down, all over the place. Your job as the husband, you are the emotional regulator. That means you are calm, you are cool, you are collected. You are the one who takes the emotions and you can ground them. She was going to be relying on you to keep everything steady when she starts to throw things out of proportion or take things to levels that they necessarily don't need to go to yet. You have the ability as the emotional regulator to ground her where she's at. Number three is this. Show interest even if you don't understand something. That means when she's starting to get together the nursery, she's buying toys, sheets, whatever the case is, show interest even if you don't quite understand something. Because I guarantee you this, when you start showing interest, it gives her the comfortability to be able to become the mom that she's supposed to be. If we are constantly making things difficult for them or not seeming interested, they feel like they are alone. So dads, hear me out. Show interest in small things and in large things. All right. Next one is this. Offer to go to all the appointments. Okay. Offer to go to all the appointments. And here's why I say this. And here's why this one actually made my list. I'm a current father. My son was just born a couple weeks ago and it's been amazing. But we actually had another pregnancy, okay? And during that pregnancy, I thought I was ignorant. I didn't know the circumstances of anything. And we actually ended up suffering miscarriage. And I'll tell you this, nothing has burdened my heart more than knowing that I was not there at the very first appointment when she heard that news. Fathers, I do not wish this on any of you, but the chances of this happening to someone who's listening to this, unfortunately, is higher than I would like to think. So, guys, please take the time to go to every single appointment that you can because you want to be the one there anchoring your wife. You want to be the one there who is making sure everything is okay and the good news and the bad. Next one is this. Feelings come differently for both of you. And this is what I mean by this. She will get excited at some points and you will feel kind of like, is there anything in there? I don't see a bump. And she's going to say, oh, I'm feeling him or her kick. And you're going to feel nothing's going to happen. And you're still going to be in this state of, what? I'm still not quite understanding everything. And then there will be other moments to where it kind of flip-flops to where she'll maybe go into a state of anxiety or overthinking or something of that nature. And you will be the one that's excited. So my encouragement to you dads in this scenario is remember things and feelings come differently for you both. All right. Things will be differently for you both. Take it in stride and share that with one another. Next one is this. Pace out the nursery. Do not, if you are a procrastinator, listen to me right now. If you are like me and you wait to the last minute, my advice, do not do that this time, okay? So the reason why we don't want to do this is because there's actually a lot of intricacies and things, as we know as men, sometimes can be more difficult than we initially set out. And what I want you guys to understand is when it comes to a nursery, when it comes to doing these things, make sure that you pace it out throughout the entire 9 months and not wait to the last minute, okay? It was a huge blessing to have everything prepared ahead of time. So when baby did come, we didn't have to rush. We didn't have to do anything. I believe the only thing that I needed to set up that was extra was the car seat. Or I'm sorry, not the car seat, the stroller. Yeah, that was the only thing that I needed. So take the time, pace it out. Next one is this. Communicate your joys, communicate your nerves with each other when you are feeling them, okay? Because you'll find you may be in a joyous state and you guys may share things that you both can have joy in, but then there will also be things that you are both nervous about. Or there are some things that you may be excited about that the other person hasn't thought of yet. And the same on the other side, there may be some things that you guys need to talk about to make sure that you are on the same page. Trust me, the same page is the best page. Gentlemen, if you know what I'm talking about, fathers, if you know what I'm talking about, the same page is the best page, okay? Next one is this. This may seem simple, but I run into it often, and it's this. Husbands, future fathers, and current fathers, we have to go the extra mile during this time and every time. I have an old saying too that I always say to myself. I don't even know where I heard this or if I made it up, but the saying essentially goes like this: if you ain't trying, it's dying. Meaning, if you're not putting in effort, the counterpart is happening, meaning decline is happening. So you as the husband, you as the father, if you're not taking extra steps, if you're not taking extra things to do, if you're not doing the dishes or laundry or stepping up in those areas, I assure you, you will be met, not even just from a wife standpoint, but just as a father, as a husband, you will be met with a feeling of uncertainty. You will be met with the feeling of, man, did I make the right decision? And all these things will start to flood your wife's mind, your mind. But when you put in that extra effort, gentlemen, listen to me, it goes a long way, a long way. And that gratitude that your wife will begin to show is immensely worth it. And even if you don't get gratitude out of it, as we know, as men, as fathers, sometimes we get the short end of the stick. You do it anyway. All right. Don't wait for all the love and all those things to kick in. Just do it anyway as a responsible man that we are. All right. I'm big on strong fathers. I am huge on strong fathers because when we're strong fathers, the entire family will benefit. All right. Next is this. I took this one kind of lightly, but then when I started to see the benefit, I took it as far as I possibly could. And it's this: educate yourself early. Educate yourself early. At first, like you see the movies and you're like, oh, they're taking a birthing class and this kind of class. And you kind of look at it kind of cliche, like, whatever, like I can take it or leave it. Gentlemen, let me tell you this. When you lock in a class and you pay attention, not only does your wife see that and it lights up her world, but realistically, you learn so many things. Like I went to a breastfeeding class, and in my mind, when I was first thinking about it, I was like, man, like, I'm not gonna be the one feeding him. Why do I need to know these things? Like, is it really necessary? But because I understood making the extra effort goes a long way. I stepped up to the plate, I went to the class, and let me tell you, I learned so much. Like there's different like positions, there's different styles of feeding, different times, there's so many things that go into it. And if you are paying attention during that time frame, when the time actually comes and you're able to assist your wife during that time, let me tell you, that bonding is just gonna increase through the roof. Next is this, and this is my final intent tip. Pray. Make sure that you are the spiritual leader over your household, that you pray for your wife, that you pray for your son or your daughter before they get here, while they're here, as much as you can. Make sure that you are praying for them. All right, that goes a long way. And not only does it go a long way, it gives a sense of stability. It establishes hope. It establishes faith between one another. And it just grows in an immense way. And your wife, your spouse, your children will be able to look up to you in these ways. Because let's face it, the world we're living in right now sometimes can get very scary and it can get very dark. But when we are constantly making sure that we are looking over our children and praying over our children and our families in this way, it gives us an incredible strength, fathers, an incredible strength to our family. All right. So those are the 10 things that I wish I knew sooner when I found out my wife was pregnant. Again, welcome to First Time Dads. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and please, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on, man, if you could go back in time, what would you change? What was something that you would do differently during pregnancy and during the early stages of birth? All right? Until next time, dads.